In Canvas, there's something called New Analytics that allows you to look at a lot of different things in your class. So this is going to be an overview of that product. To turn it on in your class, you go to Settings and then Navigation. Scroll down until you find New Analytics, maybe at the very bottom. Click on the three dots to the right and enable it. And then go down to the bottom and make sure you hit Save. If you don't save, it will not turn up in your class. Now, New Analytics is calculated, all the analytics are calculated the night before. So if this is Friday, then it will be Thursday night's data. That will show up. So you simply click on New Analytics and it will show up with several different pieces of information. For instance, here's the course grade, and you see different assignments. You can go back to the beginning and you see each of these assignments. Here is a discussion. This is another assignment, a quiz, assignments, etc. Discussions, and you see the different ones and they're named here. You can click on an individual assignment and it will tell you, it will demonstrate how people did, a graph of the different parts of how many missing, late assignments, etc. This is a very powerful tool. It's got a lot of different components. Notice I've got a slide bar here that goes to the right. I can also pick a specific student and choose them and see how they did against the class. So if I pick a particular student, I can see in green that this student had really high scores compared to the rest of the class. And I can look at that and look at their score and see how they did. So this gives you a quick overview of the grade for this particular student. But one of the main important parts to this is here on the right, where you can message students who have certain criteria. So while we're looking at the course grade, you can message students who have a grade between certain levels. So say you want everybody who is getting less than a 70%, and you notice it says 29 students. If I click on this, I can see all of those student names. And now I can go ahead and enter a message to them and hit send. I can message students who are missing any assignment. I can message students who are late on any assignments. So this is a big overview of your whole class. But one of the nice things is you can take a look at a specific assignment. Let's go with this one, for instance. And I can now message students who had a score of less than 70%. And now I've got 2 students, and I can enter a message here. And it depends on the width of your screen and stuff as to how this part comes up. But I can go ahead and now send this message out to those students. It's a really nice feature. The other part is looking at that particular assignment, who were missing that assignment or who were late on that assignment. I can do all of that all off of that same part here where I've clicked on the assignment itself, and then I click on this email or this mail envelope there. So other things that you can do, you can look at it as a data table instead. And here you see the actual numbers rather than seeing a chart, if that's the way you prefer to look at it. Shapes comes in a little differently there. Not a whole lot of change in that particular one. That is under what you see under course grade. Moving along, I've got weekly online activity, and you notice that there hasn't been a lot of weekly activity for a little while. But if I go back to the very beginning of the class, now you see that there's a lot more activity in the first several weeks. And you can see this bottom part is participation. If I click on that, I can see different people and how many page views they had. The number of page views that they did, how they participated in the class. I can also download this as a CSV. As I look further, I can look at the different pages in the class, how many students viewed this, how many times. So the home page was viewed 2.7 thousand times, 2,700 times there. So challenge 2 picture was viewed 521 times by 35 different students. And you see the differences here, and can look at individual ratings, okay? And you see January 5th to the 12th, different things that happened there. So you can see how this works. Then the other part is, again, you can look at and compare a specific student to the class, and you can, moving it back, you see how this student in this case had more page views and more participation for the most part until we got to this particular date. And that's after they probably had submitted everything for the class and we're done with the class. So it's nice to be able to compare it. You also have the same things with the message students who viewed pages, and you can pick individual pages on here. Everybody who viewed this particular page, 15 students did that. Who didn't view a particular page, and 14 students didn't view this particular page. Who participated, and there's different places they can participate. Who didn't participate. All of this is built in. I don't need to calculate it. I don't need to look at it as the instructor. Canvas is doing this work for me. So this is important, because what you can do is you can be following your students, and if they seem to be falling behind, or if there's a challenge, hey, make sure that you pick up and you work on the stuff that we need you to work on so that you can stay caught up. That type of email can help encourage a student to continue and work hard in your class. Ignoring the student makes it more difficult for them to participate. You also have a Students tab, and this actually loads each of the different students, and you can see when they participated, what they last viewed, what page, the pages that they're viewing, how many page views, etc. That's all built into here. Again, you've got the message students who have current scores at a certain level, are missing assignments, or have late assignments. So you've got all of that built in automatically. The next one is actually relatively new, and that is reports. So under reports, you can run a report on missing assignments. When you do that, it will create a CSV report that you can download and look at on your computer, and then work with as is appropriate. The same thing, you've got late assignments, excused assignments, class roster, and the course activity. Again, you can see these reports. It comes out, and it's really nice to be able to just view them very quickly, very easily, and see what's going on in that particular class. Along those lines, under people, you have the ability to click on a specific person's name. And I'm looking for that same person. There we go. And you can see how they scored their last 10 scores. You can go into their grade book. They have specific new analytics just for them. And you can see how they did on all of these different components. So this is all wrapped together, and where you're able to look at and really see how this student did. From the people page, you also can send an email directly to the student with whatever information you need while you're looking at this. That same thing shows up under grades. So in the grade book, you can be looking at the student's grade. And again, email them while you're looking at their grade. So it's a really nice way of making sure that you are communicating well with your students, staying in touch with them, and also understanding what they are and are not working on in your class.